intend to have an officer not below the rank of an Assistant Inspector General commanding the mission. We shall have a Chief of Personnel at the rank of a Commissioner of Police, a Chief of Staff at the rank of a Commissioner of Police, Chief of Logistics also at the rank of a Commissioner of Police. Let me address the concern on the specific tasks and responsibilities that the deployed police officers were undertaking in Haiti. So the first one is providing overall command of this mission. We are going to provide the leadership. We shall be the lead country. We are going to support Haiti National Police on joint operational planning. We also intend to build capacity of Haiti National Police. Of course, all the operations will be carried out jointly with the Haiti National Police force. We are going to protect critical infrastructure and the transit locations, the airports, the ports, the schools, hospitals are key. They need support. Then, of course, key intersections. We shall help in provision of unhindered and safe access to humanitarian aid for population receiving help. We are going to support Haiti National Police in maintaining basic law and order, public safety, including arrests, and of course detentions when it's necessary. We shall ensure this is in full compliance with international law, including international human rights law. We are going to adopt urgent temporary measures on exceptional basis, which are limited to a scope, time-bound, proportionate, and consistent with the objective to help Haiti National Police maintain public law and order. We are going to have regular updates and report to the UN Security Council. Honorable chairs, honorable members, allow me now to talk about training and preparation of the officers, police officers, before deployment. Continuous support, equipping them, and training during the mission. It is in 4 components. There is the aspect of selection, pre-deployment, post-deployment training, then sustainment training, and the selection, which has been very competitive. We are through with this. So we developed pre-qualification requirements. We want to do that. Then, of course, there was publication internally within the National Police Service for those qualified to apply. They did apply. We conducted interviews in all our various formed up units. Then vetting was done. Also, we had to carry out medical and suitability examination. Tests were done. Therefore, as we are talking, training is going on in our training institutions. We are tooling and kitting these officers, of course, preparing their passports. And much later, there will be the visas. Post-deployment training. So what we intend to do, and my deputy, one of my deputies already has been to Haiti, is back. So what we intend to do once we get to Haiti, our officers must understand the history, the culture, the geography, and the doctrine. Of course, the local laws, they must be taken through that. They must understand the service standing orders of the Haiti National Police and other relevant legal documents. Then sustainment training, because the modus of operandi will keep changing. They will keep learning lessons, which we shall keep reviewing based on the lessons they will learn while there. Then, of course, there could be emerging registration policies, regulations. Mandate may keep changing. Honorable chairs, honorable members, allow me now to address the other concern which was raised. And this was on the number of police officers from our beautiful country who have been deployed to other countries, their responsibilities and duration of deployment. So we've had previous deployments all the way back to 1989. We had UNCTAD, this was in Namibia. We had that officers in Namibia, the year 1989 to 1990. We were in Cambodia. We had 20 officers. This was the year 1992 to 1993. Went to the former Yugoslavia, the year 1992 to 1995, where we had 50 officers. We served in Bosnia, Herzegovina, and also in East Timor. This was 1999 to 2002. We had 40 officers. Went to Croatia in 1998. We did very well. Our officers were decorated. They got medals. 20 of them were there. We served in Sierra Leone, 1998, 1999. One of my deputies served there. Again, went back to Sierra Leone up to the year 2005. We had 51 officers there. 2008, we were back to Kosovo. We had 98 officers. 06, we were in Darfur, Sudan. We had 50 officers. Where are we currently as we are seated here? We are in Southern Sudan. I have 19 officers there. We are in Somalia. I have 39 officers. We are in DRC, Congo. We have 7 officers. We are in Ayabai. We have 4 officers. Western Sahara, we are there. I have an officer there. New York, I have 2 officers there. One is a police selection and recruitment officer. The other one is a planner. In Italy, I have officers there. I have 2 officers in Italy on similar matter. Addis Ababa, I have again 2. Honorable chairs, honorable members, allow me now to talk about the mechanism to be put in place to monitor and evaluate the progress and effectiveness of the deployment. What we've done, we are going to establish, we are doing this, a strategic coordinating body, which will be rehearsing, receiving, compiling quarterly reports from the formed up units and regular updates on the ongoing in the mission. Therefore, this honorable house, both houses will be informed on what is happening in Haiti as officers are there. Then within the formed up units, we have monitoring and evaluation teams. Again, we will keep providing monthly progress reports to the mission headquarters, which in turn will get back home. Maybe briefly, the last one, as I conclude, I was asked to talk about briefly on contingency plans in place to address potential gaps in our law enforcement capabilities during the deployment. Yes, we've looked at the use of force. That is a matter you're looking at. Then conduct and discipline of officers, concept of the whole operation. Thank you, honorable chairs. Thank you, honorable members. Asante sana.
Thank you, CS. And thank you, Bwana IG. I think the last part of your presentation, really the presentation by the IG, to some extent is not part of this document here. You've given very, very good presentation. Maybe I might propose that we need part of that document so that it forms part of our reports to enable us to our report. Secondly, I think members have really keenly listened. I want to thank members for giving time to the IG and the CS to make their presentation uninterrupted, so that now then we can be able to proceed and seek further clarification. And I propose, my co-chair, that we proceed to allow, because now we actually have about, we should be done by midday. Now it is almost past, so we have about half an hour just to interact with this, with the CS and the IG. So I want now to allow members to raise concerns, clarifications, questions. It is really an interaction. And I think we have given a very comprehensive presentation. Okay, my co-chair.
Thank you so much, Chair. And I equally want to appreciate is a very elaborate and detailed explanation of the issues raised. So just to be very clear, for avoidance of doubt, the IG presentation, because it deals with the numbers and a bit of the history on how countries Kenya participated in the previous times, you need to provide is it is a property of the House. So you need to provide a written to the Secretariat. And
Chair, we will make it available.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe before there is you did appear before the National Assembly Committee before, and as you also affirmed or confirmed, the advanced team led by Gabo, your DIG, I know they were there before. I think it could be also necessary and important. It will reach our report writing because Kenyans are very eager to know the status, what were their finding. So I don't know whether we can also get that.
We can also provide, actually, we were looking at the 13 issues that were raised. That was not part of it, but there is a report which we can share on the advanced team that went there. We can share the highlights and the findings of that report. Maybe if we can get a timeline, we can comply.
Because we'll be tabling it probably on Tuesday, and the report will be done maybe over the weekend, depending on the interest from the stakeholders. The earlier the better for us.
Can comply by close of business today.
Please.
Yeah.
Yeah, I noted it was not captured and is very critical, because it will really determines how we are going to go about it. So maybe we can let members react first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Vice Chair, for the Security National Assembly.
Thank you very much, co-chairs. CS, mine first of all, I want to take you from the known to unknown. I participated in Angola verification mission in Angola, and also in AMISOM in Somalia. So I would understand what you are going through. Saying Kenya is the lead nation, actually it means we'll carry the highest responsibility in this particular mission. So my question is this an all-police mission? Because in many instances, you have the military stabilizing the security environment, and the police come largely in terms of shaping the operational environment and keep law and order. Secondly, the security environment has been painted to be very hostile, with gangs, criminal syndicates, armed groups. The question I have is, are you going in on a light role or mechanized? Thank you, Chair.
Okay. Kaluma? Honorable Kaluma, sorry. You are not just Kaluma, you are Honorable Kaluma. No, it's not a senior
I was
counsel.
upgraded. Joint chairs, I regret I did not sit with the joint committee when you first sit, because I was on other duties out of the country. But I'm pleased to join you in this critical discussion. Chair, I have two issues, and maybe before I mention them, let me confirm that I have full confidence in the capacity of our National Police Service to do their work. I also have full confidence in the ministry and the command of the police service. And so I would support anything that the police are required to do, but only within the law, because that is also required. And so joint chairs have looked at the provisions of Article 240, sub-Article 8A of the Constitution. And what it says, literally, joint chairs, is that the only time this provision would be invoked and the Cabinet Secretary and the IG would be before Parliament is when they are deploying the forces out of the country, in which case they are seeking parliamentary approval. And I've read the statement of the Cabinet Secretary. That is what he confirms he's doing. And that is why we would be reporting after this meeting, following the Speaker's remission of this matter before us, back to Parliament. So however we frame it, the authority of Parliament is being required under Article 248A to approve deployment. And so my thinking, joint chairs, is that however we ruled before, if the matter of deployment has been barred by court, then we are going against the sub judice rule. But that can be raised on the floor. That was my first issue. We may answer it here. It may be a matter to be raised on the floor for clarity, because we are here for parliamentary approval for deployment. Full stop. We may say we are doing preparations, but it is all towards deployment. And if that has been bad, I'm worried we could fall afoul of the sub judice rule. Chair, my most substantive issue, and the last one, is that when we put the citizens of the country on arm's way, it is a serious matter. And that is why Article 240, sub-article 8A, requires the approval of Parliament, the two houses of representatives, before you do so. Chair, I've looked at the provisions of Article 240 on the roles of the National Security Council, including deployment, very keenly. I've looked at Article 241, sub-article 1, on our Kenya Defence Forces. And the only time forces are referred to or used in respect of state security organs. I've looked, Chair, at Article 243, sub-article 3, on National Police Service, particularly on the statement that the police shall be a national service, not a force. And here we may take it as semantics, but it is not. Kenya was previously a police force under the old constitution. Now it is a service. And the constitution at that provision says so. Chair, I've also looked at Article 245 relating to the command of the police. An independent command over the police is vested in the Inspector General, in whom I have full confidence. And Chair, I've also looked at the functions of both administration police and functions of Kenya Police, both under sections 24 and 27 of the National Police Service Act. My conclusion, Chair, is that all these laws put together do not permit the deployment of National Police Service officers for policing duties outside of the country. We may take them in the manner the IG has confirmed, but that is when we are giving reciprocal technical support, like those ones in which we are sending 1, 2, to help them establish their security environment better. And so, Chair, I'm personally bothered that the whole substratum of this request would only be entertained if it was a request to deploy our Kenya Defence Forces under the Constitution, not the police. And I would request for, the good mind of the CS, who is a fellow learned friend of better years than me, on this matter, because we want to be sure that as a rule of law country under Article 10, we are doing the right things.
Okay.
We don't want, Chair, a situation where we fall afoul of the law, then something happens, and then we have a problem. Lastly, Chair, I would request that we will need to see the mandates so that we know what this request is about in terms of the duties we need to send these people for. I thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Kaluma. And that is the reason why we are here today, so that we really look at all the issues of concern to these members and indeed Parliament. Now, we've agreed with my co-chair that we will take the first three, then the CS and the IG will deal with those issues. Then I will take another round of three, and then they deal with it. And then my colleague will take another 6 so that we move forward. Members, I would plead that as you raise an issue, you be direct to the point. Just be specific. What is the issue? Kaluma had to build his case on the issue of the law, because his issue is actually legal. You know, it's a legal issue, actually constitutional, so to speak. So don't go that route again, because it will take a lot of time. I would like to request to give the floor to my vice chair. We will come back to you. Yeah, I will come there. Nyamu, then I will take another 3 after they respond.
Thank you, chairs.
Yeah.
I am very skeptical about the request by the UN to have Kenya lead this mission, and this is because I'm curious of how they decided that Kenya should lead this mission, because first of all, we might not be the country that has the most, a police service with the expert training or what is required. And given the fact that other countries that have more skilled police than us have withdrawn their police already, and so I would advise that we be cautious about it. Secondly, the IG of police, you have said that you have several officers already deployed in other countries, in other missions. No, I'm not done.
Okay.
And some are currently deployed in Congo, Sudan, and other places. Did you have them, that decision, before they were deployed, did you have them approved by Parliament? And if you want to liken this mission to other missions, why is this one special? Why are you seeking the approval of Parliament in this particular one? And lastly, Chair, what will be the selection method used? Will they have to apply? Will they go for interviews? Will they take medical tests or the suitability tests? What is the process of being picked for this mission? Thank you, Chair.
Okay. I think some of the issues members raising have already been dealt with in terms of pre-deployment. You already captured, but I think it's just good to summarize that in terms of a question. So, CS, you can deal with the 3 concerns by members. You can share in the manner you wish to.
Thank you, Chair. Honorable Chairs and honorable members, with regard to the issues raised by the Honorable Dino Raso, yes, it is true that Kenya, being a lead country, comes with responsibility. But that responsibility is in terms of backstopping the multinational arrangements. We believe that the Kenyan personnel in the National Police Service has the necessary skills to provide that leadership of putting the teams together, planning together, and also leading in the operations. The expertise is there. That is where our responsibility starts and ends. The other logistical, financial responsibilities, those ones, as I've said, are shared by other. Our lead role is in the expertise, and I believe we have it. Number 2, the Honorable Raso also raised the issue of the picture that has been painted of the security situation there. As you will see when we will present the highlights of the findings of the pre-deployment mission to Haiti, which was done by the technical people led by the DIG for Administration Police Service. The whole country, I think much of the country is fairly safe. There are safe parts, are pockets of mainly urban areas, and even within the main urban areas, just like one would give an example of our Nairobi today, the safety issues are different in different areas, and therefore they are just pockets of where those gangs have congregated. Other spaces are fairly safe, reasonably safe, but it is true there are security challenges there, and that's why this deployment is sought. And therefore want to assure the committee that the concept of operations, which has already been agreed on and is being developed and reviewed, will make sure that the operations are not only intelligence-led, but they are also carried out in a way that does not expose our officers. In any case, members know the work of police officers, even those who work within our borders, has an element of risk. It's only that the operations should be planned the same way we are planning our internal operations in counter-terrorism, counter-banditry, is the same way we'll plan there. I have no doubt whatsoever that our expertise and capability to plan sensitive and complex security operations exist. Number three is very valid concerns raised by the member for Homa Bay Town, the Honorable Kaluma, about the legal issues. I am convinced, Honorable Chairs, that first and foremost, the sub judice rule does not apply. Selection, training, preparation, approval of deployment is not deployment. It's not deployment. Deployment is deployment. Number two of Honorable Kaluma's concern is that a total reading of the articles he cited, 241, 243, as well as the Section 24 and 25 of the National Police Service Act, does not lead us to conclude as he has concluded, because what our police officers are going to do there is to support the Haiti National Police to enhance their capabilities to enforce law and order. And therefore, that support role removes any legal complications in terms of having a national police service serving in another country, if that was the stretch of the imagination. And I think these are healthy legal discussions we must have. And I think Kenyans should not take too much out of some of these contributions, like the ones coming from the Honorable Karuma, because in a democracy you expect this discussion so that we make sure that we act within the law, we respect our constitution, and what we do is supported by the constitution of our country. I am convinced beyond doubt. I am willing to defend this position and to provide a clear legal backing for this mission. Neither the Constitution, nor the National Police Service Act, nor any other law of this country will be violated. Honorable Chairs, also, the issue, the last one, before I give the IG to handle part of the last interventions by the Honorable Karen Nyamu, Senator, I wanted to say that is asked about how the recruitment was done, and I think the IG handled that. but I want to appeal to Senator Karen Nyamu not to be skeptical, because the exposure of security officers is part of their JD. What we do is to ensure that nothing or no, we are not negligent. We must be sure that the officers work in an environment that is well planned for, and that all the factors have been addressed, and will succeed. And I think time has come for us to start giving confidence to ourselves as a country, and the defeatist approach that perhaps what everybody else has been unable to do, we can do. I am not of that opinion. The IG here and his team are very convinced that the operation is very feasible. The assessment that was done by our team there, led by the DIG, returned a positive verdict, only that certain things has to be assured, and the IG is working to ensure that by the time we deploy, those things have been done. And some of them are things we cannot say on cameras. The last one, IG maybe can address to, I think, is the selection method, and maybe you can complement what I have said, whatever I've left out.
Thank you, sir. Honorable chairs, honorable members, maybe I start with Honorable Karuma. Thank you for the compliments. No wonder I'm seated to a CS who was on 2 occasions rated the best performer. Therefore, don't, Senator Nyamo, please don't doubt the capacity of your police officers.
Wanaiji, she has a right to doubt. But we just tell her not to, but she will have the right to doubt. And I think our concern was not even to doubt, but just allow her that right. That's why you are there, to help.
Thank you, Co-Chair. Thank you, Honorable Co-Chair. We've done well, as I stated in the past. And it's worth mentioning, we have been leading the African policing mechanism, the continental policing mechanism, for the last 2 years. The term was ending in October. Other countries have said, Kenya National Police Service, you've done well, continue, even beyond the 2 years were allowed. Therefore, that's why I have no doubt in terms of discharging this mandate. We are going to Haiti to do this country proud. From where we sit, we are not failing. We are not going to Haiti to fail. About the selection, as I mentioned, Senator Karen Nyamo, it was very competitive. Selection already has been done. It was very competitive. Very competitive. As I said, the officers were taken through medical examination, other suitability tests. It was very fair. And therefore, I'm very comfortable with the integrity of the process. I've addressed all the issues.
You are vulnerable. Co-chairs, if you allow me 1 second to add that, again, for the sake of the legal fraternity and my brother, the Member of Parliament for Homa Bay, the role that our officers are going to do alongside officers from other countries is a support role. They are not going to do policing in Haiti. They are going to do a support role and working together with the Haiti National Police. And the operational order will define how that support is done, including things like arrest, detention, etc., etc. Finally, we will avail, as requested by the Honorable Kaluma, as we do the submissions by end of day of the documents that have been directed we submit, we'll also submit the exact text of Resolution 2699, which has the mandate, which is couched in words like supporting the Haiti National Police.
Like now we are done with the first round.
Chair.
there is a member who walked in. I think, Korere, you need to be on record.
Thank you, Chairs, and my sincere apology for coming late. I'm Sarah Korere, MP Laikipia North, and a member of the Security Committee in National Assembly. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now I will give one senator and then 2 members from National Assembly, and then we move Dulo, Senator Dulo. Oh, another member who came in. Oh, Kaunya, sorry. You know, he's an expert in this line.
Thank you, the co-chairs. My name is Oku Kaunya, a member of Parliament for Teso North and a member of the Administration and National Security Committee, National Assembly.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa. No, I wanted you to just be on record.
Yes.
I will give Dulo on the Senate side. Then we come to Fatuma and Sigei. And then from there now my colleague will take the rest. Each one of you will have time to say something. Chelule, sorry, I think you will be in the next list.
Thank you, Chairs.
Okay.
And thank you, CS and the team for the brief. Number one, I think you said the expense of the team that is going to Haiti is taken care of by the international community. And again, you said, as a country, we are also getting support as a result of exchange. Are you able